Oh, hi. Are you looking for my little brother by any chance? Well, the weed isn't here. I said the weed isn't here. I would have to explain myself further. Wonderful. Yeah, I do have to be sarcastic because I have other things to do outside of, babysit. I mean, whatever, just come in. Let me practice my most, sincere hosting. Hem. May I offer you a drink? You don't feel my sincerity is genuine. Wow. Look, neither of us asked for this situation today. So how about we just get on with it? And do you want something to drink? Yes or no? Well, I'm going to continue to be this moody until you give me an answer. Right, great. I'll go get you that. Your desired drink. Hosting etiquette, I suppose I better. Well, I'm not exactly going to leave you sitting around by yourself. For one, it's a bit rude. For two, I don't know, you might steal something, who knows. I don't care if that was ruder. I, happen to not know you that well. And quite frankly, every time you're around me, it's like, I don't know, I was trying to talk to a stone. Oh, hi, how you doing? Okay, having a good weekend? Just silence, always. You just kind of look at me. So, yeah, I've kind of given up the whole being nice thing. Until you can, what is it that those humans do? Form a sentence. That was it. I think you've only ever spoken to me in like kind of 2 or 3 word grunts. So, yeah. We live in hope of a brighter tomorrow where you're capable of speech. If you say so. Well, give me a charming anecdote about your day then. Yeah. As I say, waiting for you to become capable of speech. Stop asking me why I'm moody. I have my own life, my own issues, and it will stay that way because I'm not getting agony-anted by my little brother's, slightly away with the fairies friend. I'm not entirely sure that you are the right person for me to discuss my Look, I have a lot going on, and you float around as if you don't. I don't particularly trust that you have the experience or the know-how of anything to actually have anything useful to say. I could just tell you a story and you'd respond with one of your trademark grunts, so... Oh, you actually give quite good advice. Wow. Is it about the newest line of toys that are coming out? Perhaps which colouring in book is the must-have property? Please. Next you're going to be going, I'm so mature for my age. You know how many people have heard, frankly, gaudily proclaim their own maturity? And it's almost always said by people who, well, could not be less deserving of the title of mature. You get these guys who act like they're the hottest thing in town, but their mum still cooks their meals and does their laundry. Or you get the girls who are, oh, they're so mature, so they have to date a guy who's 5 years older than them. And if he's 4 years, no, he's not old enough. Because, you know, judging people purely by an age range, yeah, that's a great sign of maturity right there. I just can't be bothered with any of it. At the end of the day, well, all you really want is a few people to have a few good conversations with now. Is it really that hard for people to just... My God, with the news the way it is, politics the way it is, social media the way it is, it feels like you spend your entire life disagreeing with somebody. Yeah, well, I've got a lot on my mind. And one of the things on my mind is the question, when is my good-for-nothing little brother getting back here so I can stop having this conversation? Because, quite frankly, well, let's face it, I'm the one doing all the talking. You're just kind of sitting there listening. And, well, the onus is on me, isn't it, to carry this whole conversation. Realistically, are you even going to say anything if I go off on a wild tangent? What if I start giving you facts about bats? You know, I don't know any facts about bats, but if I did, I could start giving them to you, and you just sit there quietly and nod along, and, you know, yeah, bats. It's like having a conversation with someone who's mute. Or, you know, a conversation with a microphone. I'm just sitting here talking. Well, I get absolutely no response ever. Well, maybe I can just start imagining your response. That would probably help me out. Hey, have you seen that show about James May going to Japan? I have seen that show. It's really interesting to see him be so just awkward and unaware of all the customs. Yeah, it's very interesting to see the Japanese people, you know, just trying to show him how it is and to, you know, get him to do certain things, and some things he goes along with and some things he won't. Yeah, did you see that bit where they tried to get him to go to a maid cafe? Yeah, and he called it pervy. That was, I mean, he's not wrong. It is kind of pervy, right? It's sort of weird. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Like, I know some people are a bit obsessed with Japanese culture and wish we had them here, but I'm pretty glad we don't. Well, I bet if you went to some places, you probably, you know, New York or London, you'll find one, because cultural exports, right? Well, I don't know. There might be one there, but it's very hard to tell if there's going to be things like that before you actually go to the place. I suppose, well, nowadays we do have the whole Google Maps feature, but even then, some of these things are not the most prominently advertised, shall we say. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with search engine optimization on Google. I mean, if you don't have the budget as a business to actually promote yourself in those Google hits, it's going to be kind of hard for people to find you relative to things that have a wider, broad appeal, right? So you're saying you have to have really specific search terms to find some of these small businesses? Well, actually, it's funny you should mention that, because our parents run a small business and they have to spend a fortune every month in search engine optimization just so they show up in the first few hits, versus much bigger businesses that can spend a lot more so they can essentially buy up keywords. And that way, even if you search for, you know, our business, you're actually going to get bigger businesses first. They can actually pretty much capitalize on your specific words just to try and kick you out of the market. It's pretty dangerous stuff when you think about it. Dangerous how? And so on. But, you know, that would be as if I was having some sort of actual conversation that would move and flow and not just be a series of generic statements like, how are you? Are you looking forward to my brother getting home? Are you alive? Yeah. You know the worst thing? is that my wee brother always talks about how talkative you are. Every time you come around, you just talk and talk and talk. And don't get me wrong, he enjoys that. But why won't you talk around me? It's actually quite annoying, if I'm going to be honest. Because I've seen you, in other places, and you'll be talking, You turn around, you see me, shuts down. Why? I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'm that scary, but I could be wrong. It's not that I'm scary. Huzzah. Maybe I should try, steroids and some generic off-the-wall tribal tattoos to get myself more into the weight class of scary people. But while it's not the idea that I'm scary, what is it? What is it? I'm not even asking you a particularly difficult question. You should be able to answer this in a few grunts. Why is it every time I'm around? And the reason I'm dismissive of you is because it's like this, and because for years I've tried to actually talk to you. And when we were younger, it was fine. But then, you just, at some point, I wasn't really checking the calendar, but at some point, you just randomly never actually talk to me like a person again. And I'll be honest, it's kind of, well, I don't want to say insulting, but it's the impression you give, which I don't suspect is the one you mean to give, is that I'm not worthy of your time or conversation. And so I end up thinking, well, if they're not going to try a leg, neither am I. And I don't actually want things to be like this. I used to like you back in the day. What? Why are you... is it entirely necessary you need to turn away right now? Can you have the courtesy to look at me when we're having a conversation? Why are you saying no? Seriously. Whatever. Right, well, brilliant, okay. So while you, intensely stare the opposite direction from me, I'll continue to say that I used to like talking to you, I used to enjoy being around you, and now it's like pulling teeth. I'm so bored of it being like this, because, as I say, I used to like you back in the day. It used to be fun to, when you'd come around here and hang out. And, my wee brother never stops raving about you as, how interesting and articulate and fun you are. And I sit there and think, well, that would be nice to have a person like that in my life. Except what I get is the grunting cave person. I half expect you to start finger painting on the walls when you're like this. So, with that said... can you at least turn around and face me? Huh. You have gone very, very red. And immediately turned away again. Wait a minute. Nah, that can't be right. Okay, you tell me, how long ago did you... It was when... Well, this is a working theory. So... when I said to you that I liked you, you turned away like that. You turned back round, and you are, how do I put this, blushing profusely. Now, I may, be the more experienced person here. But I think if you were in my shoes, you could tell what's going on. I think if my dog were in my shoes, they would now have enough information to figure out what's going on. Although they cheat, they get smell and all that kind of stuff. So, you like me, then? Not, you like me, like me. And whether you're facing me or not, I can tell. That's what this is. And I'll tell you now that if we go on a date and you say absolutely nothing, I'm good. Hey, little brother. Finally. God, I've been trying to talk to your gominal friend for, well, what feels like most of my life. And they've barely said a word to me and now aren't even facing me. So, you know, if you two want to go off and do whatever the F it is you do with your time, I would appreciate my, you know, life back. Yeah. Well, anyway. Oh, and if you want to finish the conversation we were having, and by that I mean the conversation I was saying to you sometime later on, I'll be around if you want to, you know. But hey, if you want to go grunt at him instead, be my guest.